Welcome back to Workers and Resources. Hello, Rickety Railway, Dynamic. Back in our Republic for a day before the next heatwave starts, maybe a couple days. During the heatwave. Playing A-Train kinda makes me want to go back to this game. Finally, some line-based logistics. What a dream. Back in our Republic as we were extending our housing situation near the steel mill, creating a little bit of pollution. Just how everyone likes it. That's gonna be our goal. Setting up the tram station here for passenger transportation and more housing development along the line. We will be spending the time today getting the basics expanded. Setting up more housing, increasing our population. I don't know if I can hold the goal of 100,000 citizens, but I will keep trying. Oh, Decipher. Welcome. This is not mining, it is not. Build rotary excavator on vehicle factory. That is not available. No one's gonna get those puns. I was also planning on having an unloading station here for the coal delivery. So we unload the coal in this area as a buffer storage, and then the trains that move it to the city would then just pick it up from this area. And the delay to go to the border, picking up resources and bringing them back, would then be gone. So that station is also to be planned. Is there only one truck assigned here? Looks like it. Might be enough, not sure. Hello, Think Like. Welcome. Still working on a potential loyalty increase, which isn't materializing yet. Hello, Sancho. Welcome. Think Like Not Mad. Got it. Just need to recognize this game. It's pretty good. I think it's on sale right now during the summer sale. Indeed it is. So if you want to grab it, you would have a very good time right now. I am sitting in a room with done laundry drying, so we'll see how long we can go. Doing the burn strategy. Planning on setting up another orphanage here to run it, so we can create stability for this area. Need to make sure population growth rates are stable, and orphanages are the key for that. Steam dry, yes. No, well, not really, just dry, like a spin cycle dry. So not really dry. Housing here is doing pretty well with population. Almost all of them are filled. Hello, Dentrossi. Welcome. And the more people move into that area, the more we can just make work in the steel mill directly. We are exporting steel, as well as vehicles that we're making with steel, and money's just coming in very quickly. In this challenge run with MegaCity 19, The goal was to build a city matching the style of a 19th century style city. In our case, that means having the steel mill at the center of the city and building housing around it. Now that we've gained some more experience and knowledge, instead of being 200 meters away from a steel mill or thereabouts, 350 meters, we're going a little bit closer and placing the next housing less than 200 meters away. Seeing how that will feel during winter once the heating plants kick in. Coal trains still look okay. And we also decided to build the city at the center of the map, with horses and trains. The trains in this game feel so satisfying. And they're easier to manage. Just set up a road, and then you're done. Asterisk. Signals pending. I think we need to get the trams the right of way here. Leaving the area, and then the one to the right of that. Left-hand turn trams will not get the permission, I don't think. It will give all other road vehicles also the right of way, but that's okay. I mean, it's not super important because there's not a lot of traffic happening over this area. But yeah, I think that's still a good approach. City has come a long way from its initial house. So much development. Trams are never wrong. Nope. They are pretty cool. That reminds me, I should try trams and A-train. But I don't think they can run along roads. I think you have to set up dedicated tram tracks. Not sure. One more covered hull vehicle for the repair station, please. I've already thought about what we could do for our next run in workers and resources, and I'm thinking something that isn't taking too long and would be a nice challenge run. I'm thinking of either maybe an intermittent run, or we just finish this run with or without the goal. I was thinking a city with no police. No police, no courthouse, no prisons. And getting up to 10,000 citizens. Stable. That would be another kind of like test of, everyone says you need police. Do you really? And the other answer could be yes, because I might either not know how to not need police, or maybe you don't. I have like a theory, but it might not be sustainable. What if orphanages are also the solution to the crime plague that one might have? And instead of employing policemen, you just employ more orphanage workers. It is October, the heating plants are kicking in. It means that pollution is going to start increasing. As you do. I have a new heating plant here, it's not really running that much yet. Have you played the Tram Chen game? No, It doesn't sound like my kind of game, if I'm going to be honest. Can you confirm or deny that assessment? Can you confirm or deny, not nor? So, got 778, 780 seconds. At 600 we would need 10 trams. We got 15 trams, so we should be able to deal with 900 seconds of average lap time. So I think the tram amount we have here is okay, as long as the line spacing is done dynamically, which it is. Speaking of crime, some fun happening over here, it looks like. It's still okay. All cases are above the trial percentage required to stay above the statute of limitations, so it's just a burst of crime, I guess. Nothing concerning right now. Looks like I can remove some dirt footpaths. There's no tunnels underneath, so we wouldn't accidentally remove one of those. Now the question was, could we fit a... what was it, a cinema? A cinema here? I seem to remember something. Maybe not. Cursed footpath corner in the way. I guess not. Could maybe put a theater in. And there would be enough room for a theater. As a culture building, why not? I mean, the idea was a sports hall, but I don't think a sports hall fits there. I think we'll have to set up a sports hall nearby. Culture is more important right now. Sport is looking okay. You were also on a bike ride. Excellent. Apparently bike rides can be fun. Who knew? But yeah, overall good progress. MegaCity still trundling along. Successfully, relatively stable. We've been fighting a decline in population count recently. And then we kick-started it by adding a couple more orphanages, and it's been going really well. High education count looking very good. Average lifespan decent. Productivity is 66%. Get some unemployed workers that will be handled soon. Hello Neo Contra. Welcome. Loyalty drain is pretty rough. Not sure we can catch that. I mean, this prison seems to be doing its job just fine. Hopefully. Only allowing people in with highest amounts of loyalty. And all those prisoners basically get 100% loyalty after their stay, and we need a way to restart the loyalty program. It's not quite working out right. Okay, let's get the culture building started. and the sports facility, together with preparations for running the orphanage, I guess. I think all of this is pretty much set in stone. Waste storage, they can build up, start populating the houses. Could run some more highly educated workers here. I don't know if we need them yet. I'm not gonna allow people moving in yet. I wasn't sure about this housing block, but I kind of like the way it looks with the open space in front of it. Traveling through the center of Munich kind of gave me an appreciation for wide open spaces with fountains in the middle, I guess. So I guess the next week is going to be a test bed for my fan. If I can stay up to date with the heat wave by cooling down at night through better ventilation, would be nice. And then next summer, probably an AC. Unless it works really well with the fan right now, which I don't think it will, but we'll see. I've kind of sabotaged myself with the laundry. But today's not a hot day yet. A 112-year-old train. Is the power plant train not supplied enough with wagons? It's also getting kind of limited. I mean, the power plant train would also be hooked up to the new storage. Would need an unloading station, and a loading station, and a storage. A single 5,000 storage would be sufficient. And we wouldn't even need any conveyor towers, just directly connected, I guess. Yeah, I can see how people would like A-Train. I think people who like A-Train would probably like Workers, and no, they might not. They might not like the manual city building. And the focus on money is gone. Congrats on the 4 billion. While watching what looked like 1 million ruble purchasing a minute ago made me anxious. We have enough money to maybe repopulate the city once, for comparison. Prices are inflating. Still a decent amount of money, but it is just whittling away with inflation all the time. And growing. But yeah, not bad. It's stable. Money's not the concern. It's mostly logistics. I'll extend the housing to the conveyor belt, integrating the footpath. Somewhat. Most of the footpaths are going to come from the main road. Needs to be in walking distance of the tram stop, but that should not be a problem. Also, hello friendly local. Welcome. That's where our population drop happened, and this is our recovery, including population growth. No 21-year-olds without their own flat. We're staying on top of that by making sure winter is nice and warm and cozy. We might have some overpopulation during June, July, but not for very long. The new orphanage we're planning on building will help bring us another 2,000 citizens upwards, at the very least. Help a sports facility, a grocer. Except for a pub, what more could they want? Not accounting for heating. Coal train is pretty significant. The train will basically fill up the steel mill storage and then fill up a little bit of extra coal in here, but well, we still had 13 tons left, I guess. It was able to fill up everything, so I guess we're still fine. But with increase in population and more housing, that will change. In an emergency, we can regulate down the steel mill so it draws less coal. Can you name a steel mill after me? We only have one steel mill. It is the steel mill of the Republic. Don't you already have something named after you? I guess not. Maybe it was a vehicle. How can I turn this into a pun? Okay, it's a VH ink like mill, like steel. There we go. I hope that is acceptable. Don't let me burn down, please. We are protected by the most advanced vehicles we got in fire protection. Some actual trucks parked right next to you. There should be no danger of burning down whatsoever. Hopefully. Do I have earthquakes off? Yes. I'm not going to make a mega city with that difficult of a challenge and run earthquakes. I do not like earthquakes, how they're implemented. You feel so famous. Excellent. But yeah, this game quite heavy on the CPU and graphics card, outputting a nice chunk of heat, for sure. What's your GPU temp right now? Hello Mega Monkey. Shouldn't be too high. But today it's not warm yet. I just have a room full of drying clothing. My CPU 65. My GPU 50. Yes. I'm also streaming, so CPU is probably working a little bit more. Noted. Are you taking notes? Why would you do that? Very important, I see. Just build everything, I guess. Orphanage last. Mega Monkey's cross-referencing your GPU temp with the weather forecast so to geolocate where you are. Oh, is that so? Well, I'm glad I posted fewer pictures on Discord. I was about to take some pictures while traveling through Munich, but that would have made it way too easy and boring, I guess. The animal park again. I probably will at some point, but man, stupid sunburn. Oh, the other park. The other park is very close. Comparatively, it's like just a couple kilometers. I can walk there probably. I think it's like 7 or 8 kilometers. But going by bike was quite nice. Also, hello Burns. Welcome. I'm running your strategy of drying clothing in my room while it's relatively warm. Although I started it by running the fan on high speed, so the initial drying was... I didn't leave as much moisture in my room, I guess. I might run some more fan after the stream. It might not be a very long stream. But I did want to do some more workers and resources. This run is demanding a lot of capabilities, it feels like. I have a renaming in mind for the steel mill. It's not too much, but there we go. TH Inc. like a steel mill. Excellent. Not too much maintenance being done, so we'll use the maintenance vehicles for construction purposes to some extent. They can bring workers to these footpaths relatively quickly, as well as supply some extra resources. Hello, Bay Boy said. Welcome. Looks like the lights are now also running during January. I thought it was only December they were running in. Not sure when that changed. Did I plan for water towers here? I did not. Supposed to have a water tower. Well, it can be retrofitted in, I guess. Sewage system seems to be running. Less than 0.6 cubic meters. All good. Emptying out on its own. Forgot the whole water tower situation. There we go. Now, let's redo the pipes. They need to look like they're planned. Plus we need a medium-sized pipe anyway. Why would you do that? Honestly. Using a sound redeem I implemented that people are free to use? I'm shocked. Okay. AM, darkness and a beautiful bright half moon shining down. There's a beautiful half moon and you're not out streaming? What the hell? What if today is the day the moon is looking different than the other days? What if it has rotated and you're missing it right now? I see from my closest window, I see outside curtains because I lowered them. So recovering from the cold I had all last week, staying warm inside. Ah, okay. Well, then get better soon. You're allowed to take notes, I guess. We need to install a giant fan so the temperature worldwide is all the same. Just a bit windy. Yes. Water cooling isn't working, obviously, so we should try a fan. I am a fan. Is it like a convention for rotary ventilation blade enthusiasts? And they call themselves fans or something? Do we need the asphalt or are you gonna finish? We really need a kilogram of asphalt, otherwise this cannot be done. We're gonna live, well, 10 kilos I think. No, 1 kilo. And we're delivering 110 kilos instead, just to make sure. Oh, you're calling here. Very excellent. Off the main line. That is good. A good choice. Can't believe I almost forgot the water tower, but it has been placed. Sewage is being managed, we have water ready to go, pressurized. Small water pipe, not too much water can be handled here. But it isn't supposed to. Hello, Jimmy. Welcome. How are we? Slowly warming up. I'm thinking this might have been a mistake. But we can keep going for a while longer. Playing workers and resources during summer is turning into a bit of a challenge in and of itself. Have to be even cooler fans for Bright Schwert, yes. Well done. In 2008, yeah. 128 years in game. Massive amounts of pollution with a stable population. Just like a 19th century city would have. I mean, by stable it's still dropping like 1,000 every winter, but should be recovering. Run out of money at 1965, longest run I managed to do, 35 years. Ah. Well, it's gonna get better and better. One of our cinema, our theater soon. Tying the area together a bit more. There's not a lot of people here living yet, but the numbers will increase as we finish more and more housing. Could probably save it. I would start using the waste trick, move stuff from one customs house to another to exchange the currencies. I have like a rule to try to make do without using that. Okay. Rules are there to make the game fun, even if you lose. So, all good. I've used the waste trick in the beginning. It's not really a trick, I just did some waste recycling in the beginning, but it couldn't keep up with our demand. So we stopped doing it at some point. In the 1950s or 40s. And now we're exporting biological waste. It's so ridiculous. At some point in the 1970s, we saw that biological waste was increasing in value. And I think the price has been stabilizing a bit more, but it was a bit ridiculous. Now the price is coming back down. 700,000 rubles per ton of biological waste. Price of fertilizer is looking ridiculous though, so not much is changing right now. Sewage treatment plant looks like it could handle a lot more. Should be able to go up to 70%. Do you think the biological waste is so high because we work mainly with the horses? I don't know what happened. I mean, we were working with horses since the beginning and it at some point went crazy. Looks like in the 1950s, when I stopped importing hazardous waste, apparently something happened and then cascaded. But even before then it was like normal price, and then it went up to like several thousand rubles per ton. And then at some point it went crazy. And now it's going back down. Sometimes the resource prices tend to do that for my runs. I'm not sure why. Probably because I like importing all raw resources instead of producing them myself. Which seems to cause some issues in the economy. But they're usually quite nice to exploit. Except when it's the fuel price and I don't want to build an oil refinery. Then it's just pain. "106-year-old train. From the 19th century. Well, not quite. Almost. We had one that was 116 years old. Demonic witchcraft. It's a steam locomotive. A well-maintained steam locomotive. It's gonna last another couple of years. It's gonna undergo maintenance in 10 days. Market prices. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know why. Hello 50. Welcome. Moscow have developed so much since the last time I watched your stream. Well, it's MegaCity 1 on the Moscow roadmap DLC map. But yes, it has expanded a bit. And we're building really close to the steel mill now, which I find kind of cool. People aren't too unhappy about it. But then again, the heating plant here isn't really running that much yet. So that might change if we start increasing the amount of housing available in the area. We'll see. No settlements anymore? No. Only MegaCity 19 center. We are at the center of the map. Our ghost settlement, that doesn't exist anymore, was removed to make everything happen in the center only. When we were around 6,000 citizens, I think it was. Probably time to get the orphanage started pretty soon. I would like to finish a couple more houses first. Probably the housing block down here would be nice. The secret police is not as urgent. Although it would help with the loyalty situation a bit. But yeah, from our first structure, house number 1, with the temporary warehouse, with the rail delivery, a temporary clinic, shopping center, it has come a long way. We had a little bit of a redesign of the initial housing district, a lot more efficiency and capability. Indoor pool together with a sports hall for maximum efficiency regarding providing either a sports demand for the people in the sports hall or an attraction demand for the people in the indoor pool, or sport too. If they want to go do sport in the indoor pool, that works as well. I was gonna ask, how do you set the city area? It seems to always happen automatically for me and I can't change it at all. In the terrain tools, there's a create city area button. Normally you can't remove a city area when it's in an area that has no other zone next to it. In this case, the power station center southeast covers everything, but I was able to remove a city zone. I can't remove this one because there's no other zone that covers that. So what you would do is you would place a new city zone where you want it, and then you can remove the old one, as long as you make sure that all of the buildings have at least a coverage by one of the city zones. wonder if we're full on high loyalty, highly educated. I think we might be. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Yeah, there's very few wardens in here, which is gonna cause a problem. Maybe there was a fire, I'm not sure. Prison, no number gets the most workers with high loyalty. Then prison 2, then prison 3. So it's 90%, 9%, and 1%. This prison should always have a full complement of very loyal wardens. But sometimes we do not have enough secret police running, so they get workers of any loyalty, and we kind of need to fix that by employing more secret police, so they don't struggle with trying to go over here and discover the loyalty of some of these houses with their vehicles, which takes too long. That's why we do need another secret police, but it's not the most pressing matter right now. We drop below 16,000 citizens. Our population growth should kick in now. Wasn't as low as last year. 15,800. 15,890. It was pretty much the same. Not a huge difference. So I believe we will have our population recover, no problem. Throwing in the extra orphanage will maybe give us a situation where we run into some 21-year-olds without their own flat again. And that will stabilize our population count to grow up to 20,000 citizens, I believe. At least breach the 20,000 citizen number. We might need another university. I do like the idea of running a couple more universities for increase in amount of students. The way we're running it like this, just as many staff and party officials as we can muster, with students being taught with the checkbox set, which guarantees us a steady volume of highly educated people without having to worry that we aren't running through here. They should always produce some. Not like our university, which is focusing on the highest loyalty. 45% right now. Not that much loyalty, but I had to decrease the requirements a little bit because we were struggling. At some point, when we think that we can muster a collection of people with high loyalty again, we might be able to turn on the school and run the school with the most loyal teachers that we can. And I think our prison system needs to be fixed before that. This one looks good. Loyalty increasing for most of them. Could be a bit better, but I need to fix the secret police, I guess. Maybe I need to throw down a large secret police to help with everything. Because a large secret police has more vehicle slots, even if it doesn't have the capability of keeping the information for as long as if we can't guarantee a large enough workforce. But it would be able to help visit the buildings more quickly, I guess. We can maybe deploy one in the high loyalty education sector up here, a large secret police, to try and stabilize the situation next to the large prison and the area for our education. Once we start developing housing northeast of the rail construction office. We'll start moving highly educated workers into these houses of lower loyalty. They don't need to have more than 50% loyalty. More loyalty would mean that the secret police would run more efficiently, but if we try and build up our system based on very loyal secret police workers, then a drop in loyalty would have catastrophic effects on the whole network, I guess. So we need to kind of just blanket the whole map of low loyalty workers, and if the loyalty in average increases, then they will be more efficient. But I can't rely on that, I don't think. Our loyalty is too volatile for that. Rely on nothing. Food? No. We rely on nothing. No food, no clothing. No one gets any hands. That went a weird path, but I'll stick by it, I guess. Evolution like this, you must be very strong. You must be very strong redundancies. I think what you need is just the orphanage to make sure the people dying early have their children taken care of. Everything else is pretty similar. We could run this without any secret police based on default loyalty of around 35 to 37 on average, but I still want to move into a high loyalty society at some point. It's just, I don't know where to begin right now. I would have to redo the housing definition, basically. This is secret police, well, this prison 3 has enough wardens right now, but some of them are in here with an unknown loyalty, and any loyalty below 50% is a bad loyalty for working in a loyalty-based prison. Because they're lower loyalty rather than increased loyalty, even with the slider set to maximum. So we need to force those people out by running an efficient secret police. Hello, Marcus Mateo. Welcome. Doing well. Getting quite hot. Streaming workers and resources during the summer is turning into a chore. But I wanted to continue this run because playing some A-Train 9 made me kind of want to go back to this game, because my god is train management easy in this compared to A-Train 9 with how my brain is set up. And that's probably because I want to run a lot of trains, and A-Train 9 doesn't really do it that well with the systems provided. To my current knowledge, I should say. It has gotten better as my knowledge increased. And hopefully I was able to demonstrate that recently. So maybe I'll find some more systems, and maybe I can be comfortable in workers and resources and A-Train 9, managing a large volume of trains. Just have to play to the system's quirks, I guess. And then it'll probably work. Last week it snowed here. It's not common, is there? Snow last week. That sounds nice. I hope it was cold and it didn't snow while it was like 10-15 degrees. That would be weird. But I guess in some places that happens. Random blizzard showing up. Excavator, out of ore. Very nice. It's a way to change rubles to US dollars. Countries in the south, Uruguay. Ah, okay. Yes, you can send resources to a western border, although on this map the only western border we have is sea-based, so either we send ships to the west, or we have to fly stuff out by aircraft, out and in. And then we could export to the west and make US dollars. Or we could run tourism, I guess, by aircraft. How did you get such a nice map generation? This is a predefined map from the World Map DLC. This is the Moscow map from that DLC. Hello, Telarius. Welcome. One thing I have to give A-Train credit for is the map generation. Looks very natural. But I don't think you can build on any of the hills, at least when I tried. Makes it kinda... I mean, you can build roads up there, so I guess you can kinda build there, but it's very awkward. When I look at this river, it really looks like Moscow River. Yep. This is one of the maps where it's 1:1 scale, I think. Where they tried to keep more realistic scale. Also comes with a version where the map has a early start city version of Moscow. That looks pretty neat and spaced out. We're not building like that, we're building a little bit tighter, I think. Almost done with the groundworks. And we'll build up a ton of structures here. Sneeze Lake hidden from the depths in the populated Moscow map? Okay. Please. What's going on with the population growth? Why won't you start? Why are you dropping again? What's going on? That happened last year as well. When did it stop? It should stop right now. 19th of May. Yeah, for now coal deliveries are still fine. Even if they're a little bit insufficient during winter, we do have enough buffer and they can then recover during the months when the heating plants aren't running. And the steel mill isn't supplied with that many workers, although it is producing enough steel for our domestic demand of providing enough export capabilities. I currently don't worry about our money situation. The situation isn't great. I'm wondering if I should buy the Prison Architect DLCs. They go on sale, but they haven't changed in price for like years. It's like on the Paradox model now, where it's like 50% off at most, except for the base game, and then they just never really get cheaper. Don't like how Paradox sells their games, but I have all EU, Victoria and CK. I stopped getting DLCs for their games because of what they're doing. At some point during European Universalis 4... No, wait, yes, 4. I think it was. I think when the England flavor pack hit, I checked out. And then I didn't get them at release anymore. Sometimes during sale, but even then, not really feeling an urge. I kind of want to go back to Shadow Empire. I'm hoping they can implement some better user interface for Shadow Empire. Some hotkeys would be nice, just like a confirmation or a cancellation hotkey for Windows. More housing. A lot more housing. Prison Architect new game is 3D. When they do release, they might put the PA as a bundle. I thought that game got put on indefinite hold. Prison Architect 2. I think they stopped developing that. No idea what's going on with that game. Delayed release in 2024, and that was the last news. So it's been almost 2 years since the last update for that game. So I don't know, Prison Architect 2, what's going to happen with that. I wish those games would allow you to start a new campaign on another landmass than just Earth. There is a random map generator, I thought. I remember Europa Universalis having a random map generator. I don't know if 5 has that yet. But you can do that. I don't think it's for EU5 yet. Okay, I guess we'll get started on the secret police too. Now that the housing is up to moving highly educated workers into the area. Can also get started on making sure we run a secret police in the area so that the other vehicles do not have to travel to this location, leaving some of the houses with unknown loyalty. Should make it more robust how we check loyalty in the area, hopefully. I think our lag is mostly vehicle based. Is there any difference between bricks with light and asphalt with light? Yeah, asphalt is expensive. Asphalt is based on oil, and bricks are bricks. Asphalt footpaths you can roll out. Brick footpaths you have to lay with the assistance of a potential road crane if you want. If we're talking roads, then there's a difference during winter, because brick roads are much slower during winter than asphalt roads. I think they slow down to 20 kilometers an hour maximum. Which doesn't really matter if you're running horse carriages. I think asphalt roads went down to 40 or so. I don't remember the speed limit for asphalt roads. I just remember building asphalt roads on the Siberia map and I had no real noticeable speed impact for my vehicles. without running snowplows. And that was when we were playing early start DLC before the horse carriages, so the old trucks that went 40 kilometers an hour. Secret Police will need the water tower to be functional, but it's pretty much going to finish before the building is done. I could assign the maintenance officers to guarantee it, but I think they'll be fine. It'll take a while before the road gets done anyway, because it's so short, so they will not prioritize it. Once we finish this housing block and get started on these 3 houses all together, at that point the orphanage will also begin construction. And I guess we're basically approaching that point. I might build a footpath on the inside. Not decided yet. Could put a roundabout in here, but what would be the point? Maybe just a monument or a large playground. Or maybe an alcohol, like a pub. Just drop a pub here. Although this could also be a room for a pub. But I didn't leave any connection for to the road. This would be more sensible in that way. now. I'm not sure about the pub yet. Would probably make more sense closer to the smaller houses, and we could reserve this area for a large Lenin statue. Although we already have one in between the small houses, not less. I think our tram capacity is sufficient. Currently we're only running the tram line in one direction. If there's more demand for volume, we can run it in the opposite direction as well, a clockwise route. It would increase the strain on the tram main station by a bit. I guess the clockwise route could just stay to its own route and only one of the two routes goes to the main station, the tram main station. So they would have to get transfer unloaded at this stop, and then the other tram route picks them up and moves them over. Might lead to capacity problems though. What Death Streamer doing? Making a city, one house at a time. So much cement. machine replacement for the steel mill. It's 21 tons of steel, which it can pull from technically the rail construction storage. So we should probably prioritize the steel mill for now. Looks like me doing some additional construction with the maintenance offices has piled up a bunch of maintenance work for everything. So let's make sure the steel mill gets maintained before we run out. Although there's a ton of steel in here. But yeah, it is basically also pausing all vehicle production. Not that it matters that much. At least not right now. Hello, Scarlet. Welcome. Yeah, I think maybe at most another hour. I will have to ventilate this room. It's getting a little bit damp. Tomorrow is going to get hot again, and we'll see how the week goes. Maintenance has started. Just a couple more steel deliveries, and we should be good. I guess the other two maintenance offices are hooked up to the default steel storage, so they are currently not delivering any steel anywhere, which is also not a problem. They can deliver some of the other materials for now. If we check the entire map for buildings wear and tear, there's a Lenin statue at 455%, which doesn't look normal. And that is indeed not connected by a footpath. So let's get that corrected. Forgot a footpath when we were rebuilding that area, but all good now. Back to the Soviets, yes. Population recovery is underway. 16,500 on the 1st of August. Same as last year, so we're like stagnating right now. I will need the other orphanage, I think. Some more steel deliveries, let's go. Maybe a gas station and a horse feeder somewhere in the area. I think on the coaling station road that could make sense. Currently we have a free gas station for fuel. Kinda think we need both. Steel mill is back to running. All resources, almost all resources going into the vehicle production right now. And mechanical parts. Although the mechanical part production here is undergoing maintenance as well. Thankfully we got 2 of them, and also a significant buffer storage in the background. Now is the music off? No, it's just quiet. It's just ambient noise is kind of loud when I'm zoomed in. I'll let the maintenance officers do their thing. They're still assigned to some construction, but after that they'll have to focus on the maintenance tasks again. And we might have to drop in another 1 or 2. The area between this heating plant and the road here is pretty much open. I could develop some housing, but I guess right next to the heating plant we could do another maintenance office. Pulling resources from the rail construction area or directly from the steel mill. I think the rail construction office is pretty potent as a source for resources that maintenance officers use, because it's not drawing too many resources on its own, since there's currently no rail construction ongoing. Oh. Is he doing weird things again? I was back to YouTube, trying to see if there were new songs off of Spotify, and now we're getting the sound issues again. Two fire trucks being repaired, probably at the same time. Is that right? Yes, they're both being repaired at the same time. I don't like that. %. Sheesh. And it's so far away. I guess I didn't put a repair station in the industrial area. Wait, well, I put a veterinary in here for the horse carriages, but not for the fire trucks. Statue will be connected again, and then it can be maintained. It's very few mechanical components to make these vehicles. Still got a little bit of spare time left to finish the maintenance of the mechanical component factory before it starts impacting our vehicle production again. After all of these houses are done and maintenance is looking okay, we will get started on the orphanage, which will hopefully be done by next year. Decent room still in the orphanages. Interesting. I would have expected them to be cramped full. Maybe because we were not recovering population as much, there has now been a decrease in the children in orphanage care. So maybe next year population numbers would be higher again, because there's basically space for catching a lot of people who will lose their parents during winter. Do you think it was very noisy to live right next to a tram line like that back then? I guess they never ran it at night. Trams are still noisy today, eh? They did reduce the noise of trams in the game, but train tracks are still very noisy. I mean, when I'm going through Munich and I'm next to a tram, definitely can hear it. Living and working next to a tram line, can safely say yes. Yes. Are modern trams much heavier though? That would make them louder. I mean, I don't know if that would affect their loudness, because I think the suspension is probably better. But they're still running metal on metal, so that would create some noise. Modern ones, at least here, are mostly noisy when they go through curves, yes. When metal scrapes against other metal. Because on a straight they can roll over the metal, so it still creates some noise, but it's a mostly static contact patch. But when you're going through a corner, at least one of the wheels would scrape, because I don't know if they have a differential. I would assume they are solid axles. Kleinschwert? Why? A mockery? Unbelievable. Modern rail tracks don't have gaps between them, that makes them much less noisy. Yes. The rattling of train tracks. Looks like we'll be going back over 17,000, barely. First of September, 16,700 last year. 16,800, so slightly lower than last year. I think that's just the population curve thing, or the effect of building this residential area right next to the steel mill is actually having an impact on our population. Which I guess would be to be expected. More housing, more throughput on the heating plant. Haven't built the auxiliary orphanage yet. That will help make this a stable area. At least that's the hope. 420 kilograms of bricks, and all the other houses also need some more. We're nearing completion of this housing complex. And the water tower. Maintenance of the unmaintained Lenin statue is now in progress as well. So it is now connected by footpath and everything is okay again. There's no other building that was higher than 50%, so everything else should be running okay. Well, they sort of took care of that. Recently a lot of train tracks have actually buckled in Germany. Let me hook up the picture. I don't think I can find it right now. But basically it ripped the train track straight out of the ground because of how much it buckled. In Germany, nothing train related works here as intended. It's not that bad. They're just very okay with delays, I guess. It has gotten better in recent years, but also worse. Because I think trains stopped operating during the heat. Well, not just trains, also the postal office kind of stopped delivering stuff. The heat wave has some impact. Largest amount of population last year we had was 17,288. Or it was 17,000. I'm not sure if we can get to that population count in 2 weeks. Did you move into UK or a train stop during the winter because it's too cold, and in summer because it's too hot? Love it. Nah, I'm good, thanks. Maybe they should just use canals again. Because during summer they can be water cooled, and during winter I guess they can benefit off of the ocean water not freezing the canals, maybe? That would always be a reason for stuff breaking, I guess. Usually the reason for stuff breaking is not enough maintenance money. And then breaking suddenly costs more than the maintenance would have. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes breaking is, I guess, kind of intended because continuous maintenance or operation is actually more expensive than just letting it break and then fixing it. It doesn't really work that well when it's a apartment building, I guess. More residential buildings coming up. One more and then the housing block is done. Can focus on the last couple houses next to the orphanage, but I guess we can start on the road leading into it. The water tower is finishing up, which will provide pressurized water through gravity into the water substation via a larger water pipe than the one we're using to pressurize the water tower. And that gives us a little bit of an extra buffer time should there be an issue with the water supply. I mean, if your city's on the same longitude as Moscow and you decide to run your pipes outside of the building and then you're all surprised that in winter your drain kitchen doesn't work because it's frozen, I don't know. I feel like a skill issue to me. The UK has the benefit of being an island surrounded by a lot of water, which means very mild winters, I would assume. And I'm not sure if that has changed in recent years, so I would have to take a look at the statistics for that. But I guess they were always expecting milder climates with a lot of rain. That is my assumption. It's like Germany with air conditioning. Wasn't really an issue until recently, and I feel like I think it has changed. I don't think I'm getting older. Well, I am getting older. I don't think it's because I'm getting older and just feeling it more. I think it's just summers are getting more brutal. Entire transport infrastructure collapses because there's 5 millimeters. No, 5 micrometers of snow. What's it called? Current. St. Lawrence is doing wonders for the UK climate. Okay, well let me check. I want to make a smart-ass comment. Because we're talking about latitude. Which US city is basically on the same latitude as Moscow is what I'm looking up. Let's see, I'm looking it up on Google Maps. So if we take the center, where's my numbers? 55, I think. Yes, 55-ish. Is that Canada? That is Canada. Very, very north Canada. New York City is on the same latitude as Rome. Okay. Well then. Wait, that might not be true. I might be vindicated. Alaska to the rescue. Come on. I wouldn't say it's a city, I guess. Ketchikan Gateway Borough, Alaska 55.1. And Moscow? $55.7. So I have to be slightly higher, but what was the most southern settlement in Alaska, so I should be good. So there are US cities, or settlements rather, on the same latitude as Moscow. Bell Island Hot Springs. Well, close enough. Anyway. For speaking weird geofacts, Japan is north, south, east, and west of South Korea. Yes, I do know that one. But yeah guys, this is not going to be a long stream. I do need to aerate the room, and running the workers and resources engine is not helping and keeping me cool and sane. So we will probably make this another 2.5 to 3 hour stream. Not in addition to the current time, just it's gonna end rather soon. I'm warning you. I'm warning all of you. Hope you'll be okay with that. But I think today could have been a nice workers and resources stream if I wasn't doing laundry early. So maybe, if the fan situation works well, we can throw in some workers and resources streams this week. And if it doesn't, then maybe some more A-Train 9 streams, because that thick game was just running buttery smooth with no real system hitching or like huge loads. We as fans failed you. Yeah, you weren't cool enough. It did not work out, unfortunately. So glad workers and resources exists. It provided me and still provides me with a lot of entertainment. And burning my brain. Allowing me to do weird challenges with the systems in place. Relying on you to be cool, that is your fault. I hope you managed to aerate your room as well, Burns. Hope your laundry is dry now, and you didn't turn your whole room wet. That's what I'm trying to do, which is why I'm going to run the fan briefly to flush out the room, because I think most clothing is now dry, but my room is not. And tomorrow it'll be warm, so I don't want my room to be at 80% humidity. If I can help it. Yep, couldn't reach the same population number. 17,000 still was breached, but we're 150 population less than last year. I think next year we'll have the orphanage ready to go. Also more housing space for people to move into, not that that matters because it's mostly next to a polluting area. We do need orphanages to actually fill those reliably. And then maybe we can use some of the other houses that are currently waiting for people to move in. Well, we would only start doing that once we have some 21-year-olds out there on flat. Which currently we do not. Looks like the orphanages are now full again. Let me know when the secret police is done, because I need to make sure we put some personal vehicles in there. Sending the export train out for delivery and just waiting for some personal cars that we can move into it. Doesn't need that many, I think 4 or 6. I think it was 4. Three even, so very few vehicles needed. Should be easy to supply. While the train is running to the customs house for export, and we're just sneaking some out into the new building as it completes. Also need to be notified once the orphanage is done, as well as the gas station and the horse feeder, to make sure that we can hook them up to the respective distribution offices. We do have a dedicated distribution office for all orphanages, and I don't think it's too busy. Otherwise we might run into issues. We can still have one extra horse carriage, which would be a regular covered hull one. But yeah, meat delivery doesn't need too many, and it doesn't have to be connected to any other distribution office, which means that those things are handled by only one building. Should it burn down, well, we'll think about that when it happens, I guess. Yeah, sorry guys. I think I'm gonna put a cut in here. We'll continue this another time. Maybe sometime this week. It doesn't look as hot as it was during the first heat wave, but I'll have to see how my room holds up first before I will commit to heating it up even more by playing this game. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the short stream. We'll be back tomorrow after work and see how it goes. Let's see who we can raid. There's someone else playing workers and resources I have not seen yet. Who is that? I think someone's learning workers and resources. Sure, we'll go over to someone called Master Hellish and see how they do learning this game. Oh no, we will not. It's a followers only chat. That is not going to work out. I don't like followers only chat. Sorry about that. Only saw that as soon as I raided. I didn't pay attention. Then I don't know. I know him from YouTube. He's an OPTD veteran, I believe. Yeah, but he has a followers only chat, so I don't want to raid in there because can't really interact with the streamer in that case. Maybe he dual streams and mostly focuses on YouTube. I don't know. Unfortunate. I don't know who else to raid then. Something Barbaric is playing a car repair game. Guess we could check over to that one. Something I might want to play. Looks kind of cool. Guess we'll go over there. We'll go over to Something Barbaric. Checking out the game that he's playing. If you want to stick around for a car maintenance game, please do. If not, that's fine too. Have a very good start to your week, rest of your Monday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I'm gonna go turn on the fan, cool down for half an hour, and then see how I feel. Take care everyone, and maybe I'll see you next time.